During the week, I had the opportunity of taking a look at a new book, Her Majesty's Theatre, The Shows, The Stars, The Stories, written by Frank Van Straten, a great author, a lovely, lovely man. This spectacular book is an affectionate celebration of Melbourne's Her Majesty's Theatre. It's packed with hundreds of rare, nostalgic images. It documents the shows and the stars who have entertained at that theatre and entertained theatre-goers for some 14 decades. One of those stars who, back in 1962, stepped through those stage doors is my very first guest today, Nancye Hayes. Nancye, a big welcome to you.
Oh, good morning, Lee. Thank you.
So nice to have you with us, Nancye. You've done so much in your life, but of course it all started back in 1962, and of course coming down to the Madge.
Coming to the Madge for the first time, coming to Melbourne for only the second time, but certainly the theatre district of Melbourne is very, very important and very special and unique in this country. But the Madge has always been like the jewel in the crown for me because it's a bit like as I say in the book, my theatrical home. I had so many happy memories there and great shows to be part of. And every time I walk in there, a great wave of nostalgia comes over me, I must say.
You talk a lot about that nostalgia of the forward to the book, and you highlight, of course, 1962 and walking through the doors there and so on, and Betty Pounder's office, and that's a great name. We remember her fondly. But they must have been wonderful days to walk through and have all those vibes coming.
Well, it was because, of course, they had an empire there, a theatrical empire. Yeah. The Madge had its own scenic docks, its own wardrobe department. Everything was there, and even if we opened a show in another city, we always rehearsed at the Madge. So it was very special, that whole time.
1962, you've been working at the age of 18 in an office, hadn't you?
I had. I was a little secretary.
Yes. So what got you into the show business in 62 then?
Well, I'd always wanted to do it, and I used to say all my life to my mum, when I grow up, I'm going on the stage, and she'd say, that'll be nice, dear, and just pass it off. Yeah. But when the time came and I'd done my high school certificate and they wanted me to go on for the leaving, I said, Mum, I really do want to do this. But she said, look, I'm sceptical about it. I know that you love it and everything, but I feel that you need to have something, as they used to say, to fall back on. So I went off for a year to secretarial school and learnt my shorthand and typing, and she said, no, I want you to work for a couple of years so you've got that behind you, and then you can go and audition for things. So that's what I did. But as I typed away at I was at the Forestry Commission, actually, as one of the little typists there, the junior secretary. I used to have my tap shoes and my toe shoes and my tights and everything in the bottom drawer of my desk. Right. To run off to classes or to run off to an audition if anything was happening. I was ever ready.
Yeah. Well, it paid off, didn't it?
It did pay off. It did pay off. And, of course, Fair Lady was a very beautiful show to start my career in, yes.
Well, of course, you played in Sydney first, came down to Melbourne, as you say, to the Madge here and had a lot of fun with that. The book, you'd have read the book too from Frank?
Oh, it's a magnificent book.
Isn't it?
Frank has done a beautiful job, and, you know, the things that you think I've learned so much just going through the pages that I thought, I didn't know that, and I didn't know that. The history of that theatre is extraordinary.
Well, of course, it survived both wars, 1 and 2. It was there during the Depression, fires around the place, but it was refurbished, of course, by Mike Walsh, and we thank him for all of that. Yeah, my word, and he kept that theatre. And we're known as the theatre capital here in Australia, and with such a beautiful theatre, celebrating such beautiful works. And in Frank's book, he's got some beautiful, beautiful photos and lovely documents.
He has. It's very well put together, I must say. I'll have it on my coffee table. It's in pride of place, I must say.
Well, I think it's one of those books that you can do that, and I'd be not too inclined to lend it about, though. It might not come back.
No, I don't think it would. No, it wouldn't. They can look at it at my place, but don't take it away.
No, taking it away. You're exactly right. You've done so many shows over the years, Nancye. What's been a favourite of yours? Have you got one?
Well, I've got a lot of favourites. Of course, my big break was Sweet Charity, which I did at the Madge, and Guys and Dolls, Miss Adelaide and Guys and Dolls. And, I'm currently doing Gentleman's Guide, and I've got a dear little cameo role in that, and I'm loving that. So I just love being part of it and one day I know it will end, but at the moment I'm being very fortunate and still being offered work.
Well, A Gentleman's Guide is a fantastic show. We were there for the opening of that. We saw you, and you were delightful. And it's such a funny show, isn't it?
Isn't it clever? It's very witty. Very witty.
Is. How do you go in something like that? Do you break up backstage? You still get the laughs out of it?
Oh, yes, we do. It's a gorgeous company. And you've become a little family, within the show.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's shorter time, but at least we got to do something that was only recently on Broadway and probably wouldn't be done by one of the bigger managements. So it's a rare opportunity.
Yes, and what the production company does is fantastic, bringing those sort of shows to us. And a limited run, but it's been a great one for them too. It's very, very good. Guys and Dolls, 42nd Street, leading ladies, of course. Todd McKenney, a great friend of yours. I saw you down at Frankston with Todd McKenney doing that show.
That's right, yes.
And we followed you around quite a lot, Nancye. It's been a delight to see what you're doing.
I thank you for that.
What's next for you? Is there something else in the pipeline?
Yes, I'm going back to do a concert at the Opera House in Sydney. Then I'm going to have a break over Christmas, and I'll be back down in Melbourne next year to do a little night music with Victorian Opera.
Oh, delightful. I didn't know that was coming back. Fantastic.
Yes, beautiful show
Sondheim, yeah, it's a wonderful show, isn't it? So glad you're in that one too. Nancye, thank you for your valuable time today. I really appreciate that. I'm going to play a little song of you as you go out from this. A very, very old one I found online, and I think you'll identify it. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you, Lee.
Nancye Hayes.